He's never failed and he never failed. He won't. Oh, no, 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 no. He won't fail. Say, Christ is my foundation. The rock on which I stand. The rock on which I stand. Oh, when everything around me shakes. I'll never, 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 never. I've never been more. Why? I put my faith in Jesus. He'll never let me. He's never let me. He's faithful. He's faithful through generations. Since the time of Moses, so would he.
Kristocentric station.
Positive ingredients, freshly brewed. Your encouraging music cafe on the radio.
The Kingdom Promoter.
For 24/7 soul edifying content, this is Kristocentric Station, playing at Kristocentric.com. Kristocentric Station, the Kingdom Promoter.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to another edition of the Kristocentric News, live on the Kristocentric Station. We are broadcasting from Accra, Ghana, and I'm your Christian news anchor, YEBOAH Edwin Takyi. Let's head straight into today's headline. Libya and UN officials discuss strategies to address illegal migration crisis. In a high-level meeting aimed at tracking the persistent issue of illegal migration, Libya's Interior Minister met with Deputy Special Representative of the UN Secretary General, Resident Coordinator, and Humanitarian Coordinator in Libya. The talks, attended by representatives from the International Organization for Migration, IOM, and the UN High Commissioner for Refugees and UNICEF, underscored the complexity of migration-related challenges in the country. This concern comes at a time when migrants in Libya continue to face dire conditions, including human rights abuses, detention, and limited access to humanitarian assistance. Discussions also covered the Interior Ministry's ongoing efforts to combat illegal migration, including initiatives to strengthen voluntary return programs for migrants stranded in Libya. Meanwhile, efforts to facilitate the safe return of stranded migrants continue. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, in collaboration with IOM Nigeria and the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, successfully repatriated 960 Nigerian migrants from Libya in the first 3 months of 2025. Over the past few years, more than 15,000 stranded Nigerians have been repatriated from Libya and neighboring countries, showcasing ongoing efforts to mitigate the humanitarian crisis linked to irregular migration. But the issue of illegal migration is not one only Libya faces. It's also an issue that Ghana struggles with. You know the number of Nigerians that were deported from Libya, but what if I tell you that Nigerians are not the only nation with citizens stuck in Libya? There are Ghanaians too, and things get so hard for them that they are willing to come down themselves back into the country. In order for that not to happen to you, we have with us in the studio the officer in charge of outreach of the Migration Management Department of the Ghana Immigration Service, DSI Paul KITTOE. Today, he's not the only guest with us in the studio. We also have with us DSI Elizabeth KWARTENG, who is the officer in charge of the Migration Policy and Research Section of the Migration Management Department. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, how things?
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
How about you, DSI KITTOE?
Ah,
Second
as
time.
always, yeah. We're doing well.
And today you brought your superior DSI, Elizabeth KWARTENG. And definitely with a new face, I know you have the figures. I know you have so much to tell our listeners and our
much to
viewers.
share.
So we're going straight into the questions. Okay, so what are some of the illegal ways Ghanaian citizens use to get their visa approval, leave the shores of Ghana, and stay in different countries illegally?
All right. First and foremost, I'd like to greet your cherished listeners and viewers, and I'd like to extend greetings from the Controller General of Immigration, DC. Sorry. Yes, Samuel Basintali, and also my boss, Madam Pamela Kujo. And yes, so swinging right into action, the Ghana Immigration Service, there are various means of irregular migration. And to top the list, we have irregular border crossings where people move without their authorization, without their passports or their visas. And there's also human trafficking. That's where people are coerced or forced to, it can even occur within the borders of the country, or people are trafficked outside, so against their will. And there's also migrant smuggling, where people avail themselves to be smuggled. Yes. And then there's also visa overstays, where foreign nationals overstay their visas. They do not go by the terms and conditions of their visas or their permits. And we also have sham employment, where people are promised recruitment, and when they go, it's something totally different. Yeah, so these are the major ways that people are found to be irregular migrants or move out of the country irregularly, yes, or illegally. That's
Okay.
pretty much it.
Would you like to expatiate on those points as in each and every single one of them?
Okay, so what I began with was the irregular border crossings. So people tend to move out of the country without the proper documentation. And one might ask, what is the proper documentation you'd need? So the proper one would be the passports. You need to get your passports before you can travel, even within ECOWAS, or do like international flights or international travel. You need your passport, and you also need a visa. That's if the country requires a visa. There's some countries that have waived that, such as, you know, our brothers within the ECOWAS region. So you don't necessarily need a visa. So you have to do your research to check if the country you want to visit has visa requirements or not, or permits. Yes, so that's one way people go. So they usually do so without, they can forge passports. You know, they forge the passports, all the biometrics, they try to tweak all of this, and at the end of the day, they manage to cross the border without the proper documentation. And secondly, you have the human trafficking aspect, where people are recruited or they are transported and exploited against their will. So you find children carried in buses, and they don't even know where they are going to. They are forced, people pay money to carry these children across the border. They are forced into labor. They are sexually exploited, and, you know, they have to do all these domestic chores, and they are not even paid for their labor. And there's also the migrant smuggling, which is different from the trafficking. I'll expand on that later if I get the opportunity to. So where people typically avail themselves, they even literally look for people who can help them be smuggled. So that has the consent of the individual to do so. But with the trafficking, there's no consent. You're forced. So you also have the visa overstays. So there are different visas, there are different permits. In order to visit a country, you have to have either of these. So you have to have your permits or your visa, and it usually has a stipulated amount of time. So if it's 30 days, you go by the 30 days. If it's 90 days, you go by the 90 days. So whatever permits that you have, whether you're even in the ECOWAS region, you need to abide by the confines or the terms of that permit that you have. So if you're even on a work permit, you need to also go by the work permit's terms and conditions. And there's also sham employment recruitment. So
just to add on the visa overstays, I always like to explain this bit where I say, anytime you are given, let's use America for example, a 5-year American visa, it doesn't mean you go there and stay for 5 years. when upon entry into the country will definitely issue you number of days legally valid for you to stay in the country. So for example, in Ghana like this, when you get a visa and you come to Ghana, when you get to Kotoka, the immigration officers there would always stamp your passport and let you know how many days they've given you to come and stay, either 30, 60 or 90 days.
So although you may have acquired a 5-year visa, it doesn't necessarily mean you can stay in that country for 5 years.
You might be allowed to go in and out of the country for 5 years, but at each given point in time, when you get to the airport, you'll be given a number of days which you should stay in the country. And if you have other things you want to do, even when the days are up, there's a way by which you can extend your stay. Yes.
I actually thought that once you get a 5-year visa, you have the right to stay in that country for 5 years. So, okay, so what dictates the number of days or the amount of time that they give you once they are stamping your passport? Like, what are the conditions?
So, normally what happens is the immigration officer at post would inquire what you're coming to do in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you say, I'm coming to do shopping. I don't think you need 2 months to do shopping.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be issued. So it's based on what you're coming to do. Oh, I'm coming to bond with family and friends. Then okay, that would involve some few months. We could choose to give you 2 months or 3 months, but you wouldn't get more than 3 months.
So imagine if I'm going on a student visa and I have maybe a 2-year student visa, and I get into maybe USA, can they choose to stamp my passport and say maybe they're giving me maybe a 1-year stay, or because I'm coming to school 2 years?
So that's a whole different.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about making you get a 5-year visa
Mm-hmm.
to be in and out of the country.
Okay.
Now, anytime I get to JFK, I'll be told, okay, I've given you 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
After 2 months, return to your country.
Okay.
Because basically you're just here to visit or something. But with the school and the work, it's different. Those ones are renewable yearly and all that. Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
even in Ghana right now, what happens is you get the universities organizing the foreigners in the schools to bring all their passports and stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
So you could get any of the schools coming through their SRC president.
Mm-hmm.
So they come with a bulk. So you could have like 200 or 100 students coming for renewal of their students' permits.
Okay.
Yeah. But you get some of them also coming individually.
Okay. So I think you were expatiating some of that.
Yes. So, for the employment bits, yes, where people are recruited for fraudulent job offers, they do not really have any proper documentation, contracts, or anything to back that employment. So that typically people are lured by that, and at the end of the day, they are exploited under such conditions. Yeah, unbearable conditions.
So coming to the sham employment. Are all these, because normally you come from organizations, or
Yes.
let's say an organization will be like, I'm providing you employment in this country. Are all these organizations registered?
Well, not all of them are. There are people who are I call them unscrupulous. So it's easy for anyone to just get an A4 sheet, find a tree, and then stick it over there. So these people are, they are doing all of these. They're motivated by their greed. They don't have any. There's no job. It's a fake job ad that is out there. It doesn't have any. It doesn't exist. So people are lured by that, especially with the salary being too good to be true, and the hardship. They want to avoid hardship or get away from hardship. So then they apply for these jobs that don't even exist. So they go through the entire process, and then when they arrive in these countries, it's a totally different story altogether.
But if these organizations some of them are not registered,
Yes.
how are they allowed to operate? Because I've known of these organizations, the A4 sheets, as we were mentioning, for as long as I've known the name or the word, illegal, migration. How are they allowed to keep operating?
It's so, well, I mean, wherever you find yourself, there are people who are always going to find a way to break the law. So we also, when we go on our sensitizations, anytime that we meet people, we encourage them to make sure they verify with the Ministry of Labor and Employment. So they come by office. I'll share the details later. They come by office. We're at HQ, so you come and visit and make your inquiries to check if these people are legitimate or not, because it's just easy for anybody to do that, and some people operate with fake documentation as well. So we're trying to fish out or crack down on this to remove all these people from the system. Yes.
So what you're saying is, for a Ghanaian to know if the organization, the person offering them the job is registered, they have to come to you
Yes.
to verify.
Or the
Do
Labour
the-
Department.
Or the Labor Department.
Yes.
Okay, so with those that are registered, how do you have anything that you do to make sure that they are doing the right thing the right way?
Yes, so they have the proper documentation and everything that is needed to back their employment. So with the contracts, they provide their prospective employees with the contracts, and they're going by, the conditions and everything that they expected of them. So there's the regulations that they go by to ensure that they are not being, taking advantage of people. So there's legitimate employment, and then there's also the people who are just ready to take advantage of you. Yes.
But the thing is, anytime you have those people who are registered, I always say the fact that they are registered doesn't mean they cannot swindle you or take your cash. But anytime one of these registered people has any of these issues, it's very easy to solve because there's a registered body. They are directors to the company, so it's very easy to start from somewhere and know who you are picking up. So it's always better to work with the registered ones, even though they could also have issues. But whenever there's an issue, it's always easy to track it back, rather than the one who was just on the roadside, me wafase, me brase, that whole idea.
Sorry.
So it's always better to deal with the registered ones, so that whenever there's an issue, we know where to fall back on.
Okay, so coming to the issue of visa overstaying, as you mentioned, what specific steps is your outfit putting in place to address this issue, and what are the repercussions for Ghanaians who overstay their visas abroad?
Okay, so first of all, we try to we actually embark on public sensitization, because some people are not aware that they can even overstay their visa. So we believe that once you are educated or you're aware of this, you stay within the terms of your visa or your permit. So we ensure that public awareness campaigns, we reach schools, we go to churches, we go to mosques, wherever we can meet people to talk to them and educate them on what's expected of them, their visa. They have to travel with their visa, they have to travel with their passports and all of that. They should do their research with they can check with us to ensure that wherever they find their employment, they are doing the background check with us to ensure that they are in safe hands. So we first of all do public awareness campaigns, and then we also ensure we have stricter controls at the borders. So we are checking the biometrics. We are ensuring that people are using their passport, they are using their visas, they are going by their visa, the time frame that is expected of them, to ensure that they are not doing things irregularly. Yeah.
So
Not to also leave out the foreigners in Ghana also, because sometimes we need to look both ways.
yeah, I
Because
think
there are
we
a lot
spoke
of-
about it
yes,
the
exactly.
last time.
There are a lot of foreigners who are also here. So everything she said, we still also apply to those in Ghana here. So what do I mean? We go to the schools to sensitize the foreigners there, for them to understand that they need to be renewing their student permit yearly. Those who are not abreast with it would have to contact their SRC presidents for all these things to be done. We go to the tiptoe lanes, the Nigerians who sell the phone cases and stuff. Let them understand that yes, there's an ECOWAS treaty that allows all of us to move around, but proper documentation has to be done. So we do these sensitizations in the churches, in the schools. So we also concentrate on the foreigners in Ghana, not only the Nigerians, the African nationals, the Lebanese, the Chinese. We go to the workplaces to let them understand that it's not just about I'm in Ghana.
Yeah.
Every year I need to renew my stay. I need to let them know that yes, I'm back in the system. I'm still in the system. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and for the repercussions, you
Yes.
asked about that as well. So anyone or any individual who does not go by the terms and conditions of his permit, or he doesn't travel with a passport, or we later on discover that it is, a fraudulent passport, so it was fraudulently acquired, we would the person risks deportation. There's also travel bans. So to avoid all of this, if you're deported, you are immediately banned from the country. So you don't have any, you are on red lists. As soon as you try and apply, you are just bounced immediately. So if you want to avoid that and the difficulty in acquiring visas in the future, you try and go by the the means that you're supposed
Because
to.
I think the main reason I even asked was I remember some time back I had someone reach out to me years ago that they could acquire a short-term student stay in, let's say, Netherlands for a summer program, and when I am done, I should find my way into a nearby Schengen state, because you can actually travel to a Schengen state without. Yeah, then they'll find someone there for me to work with, those kind of conditions,
Arrangements.
yeah, those kind of arrangements. How with arrangements like this, how do you put a stop to that?
Okay, I'll give it to my
See,
colleague.
with arrangements like this, I always say the individual has to be willing, because if the individual is not willing to see the need why he should not move into these countries and become an irregular migrant there, he would never want to come back. But if he understands the dynamics, where I'm going, if I'm going there as an irregular migrant, it's not going to be easy for me. I'm going to be sleeping on the streets. That he understands the sensitization we're doing here. So if he's listening to us and he's going to go tomorrow, we hope this kind of conversation would let him have a change of mind. Basically, that's what we're trying to say. And we always choose to use the word irregular rather than illegal.
Okay.
Reason being, you are sometimes irregular, but you can always be regularized.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. A student who overstays, he might have overstayed a month or two. In that period, he's irregularly staying in the country.
Yeah.
But is there a way to correct it? If we say illegal, it's like he's committed a crime. But if there's a way to correct it by he being paying the penalties involved in overstaying for the 2 months and then renewing it up, he's corrected his mistake. So we always choose to use the word irregular over illegal.
So wait, in that case, if the person is irregular and doesn't come forward, to correct that particular mistake, doesn't that make the person illegal?
Yes, he continues to be irregular. He continues to be an irregular migrant.
Okay.
Rather
than illegal.
Yes.
Illegal, yes.
Okay, that's fine. But I think earlier you spoke about the use of fake identities.
Yeah.
And the points as in with regards to the illegal ways that people enter into foreign countries. Coming to that, how sophisticated have identity fraud techniques become among Ghanaians seeking to migrate illegally, or in your words, irregularly? Yeah. And what advanced method is your department using to detect and prevent those kind of activities?
Okay, so people have become really smart about this, and we are even smarter. So people usually tamper with their passports. They're cutting out the picture portion and putting theirs in, tampering with figures and all of that. And so they alter all of these documents and their national IDs in order to, find a means to travel irregularly. And then people are also stealing others' identities without, it's steps anyway. So they are stealing and combining information in order to create all these real identities. But yeah, we are smarter. So we also have a unit. It's at the airport roundabout, and it's called the Document Fraud Expertise Center. That's the DFEC. So they are highly trained in observing all of these things and fishing out all these passports that have been forged and all these identities that have been created, all these fake identities that have been created. So that's how we are able to fight all of this, because we have a highly advanced detection method to ensure that these passports or these identities that are fake are fished out of the system. Yes, so that's basically it.
So basically, you could go verify your visas, or if we as immigration are also not too sure about what we have in our hand, we just take to that center. They have all the sophisticated equipment to be able to check and know whether the passport has been tampered with or the visa is even a fake one or an original one.
So they're actually fake visas?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah. We won't call it a visa.
So that's typically, it usually happens when you do not even apply yourself.
Okay.
So you ask, a third party to help you
what we
apply.
probably call the guru men.
To help you apply. But then they are also doing their own thing, creating all of these
So
visas.
they take the money, but they don't
take the
actually
money.
do
They
the...
are not doing. They don't even have any link with the embassy or whatever that they are.
Then they stick something in your
Yes, or
passport.
the
Some don't
commission,
even
they'll
get
just
their
stick it.
passports back.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So let's say in that case, if I give my money to a Guru boy and he does, creates a fake visa for me, and I bring it to the airport, and he detects that it's, fake.
Yeah.
Who takes the punishment? Because definitely there have to be repercussions.
So you would have to produce whoever did it for you.
Investigations to carry all of that and then verify who is actually at fault.
So
Yes, but that's what you have to be. Yeah, you have to be made aware, because ignorance of the law is also
different. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you have to be extra vigilant. You have to be extra vigilant and ensure that what the person you are going by, he's registered, he knows what he's doing, he's not, trying
I
to
would say visas are not gotten on the streets; they are gotten in embassies. So if you are not dealing with the embassy, my brother, you should know that there's a high chance of you getting something else. So dealing, meet me here, it doesn't get you visas.
letting someone apply for you and you're not seeing what's happening. He can be forging, documents and everything for you. So you have to be extra vigilant about it.
I actually never knew that people actually create fake visas.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've heard so much, and I'm going to promise you that you're going to hear more. We're actually hearing a message from the Ghana Immigration Service, and we'll be back for more information.
Dear fellow Ghanaians, my name is ASI Elizabeth Sewa KWARTENG, and I'm from the Ghana Immigration Service, specifically the Migration Management Bureau, where we exist to provide you with reliable information on how you can travel safely. Now, today I'm on your screen to talk to you briefly about return and reintegration. The journey of return and reintegration after facing deportation is a transformative one, requiring support, understanding, and unity. The Ghana Immigration Service, through our sensitization expeditions, aim to shed light on this crucial process to ensure a smoother transition for our compatriots. Returning to Ghana after deportation can be a challenging one. It is essential to embrace those returning with empathy and compassion. Reintegration involves helping them rebuild their lives, finding employment, accessing healthcare, and reintegrating into their communities. Our government, with the help of various NGOs, offers support programs to assist returnees in their reintegration process. This includes vocational training, job placement services, financial guidance, and counseling to cope with the emotional and psychological aspects of returning. Together, we can foster a sense of belonging and provide opportunities for a fresh start for our fellow Ghanaians who have faced challenges of deportation. Let us stand united in creating a more inclusive and supportive society for all. They are people, let's embrace them. Now, if any of our returnees require assistance, kindly contact us on our numbers below. Safe travels and a warm welcome. Thank you.
Indeed, safe travels and a warm welcome. So now, on your screens, we'll be having DSI Paul KITTOE, who's come to, I won't say take over, continue something that we just ended, talking about the Goro boys and talking about, agencies that basically are not registered and pose a threat to Ghanaian citizens. DSI KITTOE.
Yes, my boss.
I won't say welcome because you've been in the studio for a while, but welcome on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've been on the side.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, we spoke about the Goro boys.
Yeah.
Who can produce fake visas, and there are agencies also who have swindled Ghanaians with the promises of getting them, jobs, comfortable living in, let's say, Canada or US or any other country. But don't do that.
Exactly.
What can your outfit do for citizens who have fallen victim, of these scams?
Yeah. So first of all, citizens who are falling victim of these scams should and can reach out to immigration. But the bottom line is you have to be able to track whoever you gave the money or whoever you dealt with. Because if you can't track that person, it makes the work very difficult for us. But where it's very possible for you to identify, oh, I gave it to Eric or I gave it to Amma, it's very possible for us to work on it. So we have departments that actually follow up and get the culprits arrested.
So is it possible for that citizen or that person to get the money they spent back?
Oh yes, you get the money you spend back. I mean, sometimes it doesn't end there. You're prosecuted, because it's not just an issue of refunding the money. No, they are committing offenses and crimes, so they are punished accordingly.
So have there been? I've not seen any article of maybe someone like that, maybe who has scammed an individual being arrested. Have there been cases like that, or would you like to make it known to the public?
There are actually so many cases, but as I always say, the immigration job never carries a camera to follow him. Do you get it? So things happen in the background, but trust me, so many things happen. So many people are deported for so many offenses. Some actually even get sentenced and are in prisons in Ghana here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are there any scams happening in Ghana right now that the public should know about?
There's actually one growing one, which works under the alias KITTOE.
As in QNet, the tech
Good.
organization.
So now KITTOE has actually, the tech organization has come out with a disclaimer disassociating themselves from the scam that is going on. But the people still go by the name KITTOE. So they come with the whole idea of securing you a job or one of these juicy deals. Then with the next thing you know is you are promised Canada. You get from Ghana, they tell you, oh, okay, let's go to Togo and have the interview there, because in Ghana there's a queue. So when we get to Togo, it's easier there. That's the first step. They move you out. So when they move you there, you get there and you realize that no, it's a whole scam. What they were telling you wasn't the case. And it doesn't end there. You now get them asking the people they've already scammed to recruit more people from Ghana and get scammed. And this is where it gets interesting. So now you, Edwin, gets to Togo. You give me a call with a Canadian number on WhatsApp. And you tell me, oh, you're in Canada. Things are super there. But what am I doing in Ghana? I'm like, Charlie, I'm still in the immigration service. Oh, we are managing small. Oh, there's a job offer for a security man in Canada. They are paying $10,000. Oh, with me having the experience of an immigration officer, he thinks I'll best fit that position. It would sound so lucrative because I have a very good relationship with you, Edwin. I follow up on it. Long story short, I get to the same channel going through Togo. When I get there, I see my brother Edwin there. Ah, Edwin, what's up here? Oh, don't worry. So at that point, they try to calm you down.
Yeah.
Try to brainwash you, get you to understand that, oh, it's a cycle. Don't worry, we'll teach you what to do for you to also bring more people and make money off it. Because they take a lot of huge sums from you and then end up dropping you there, teaching you the scam, and then you also have to join. So a typical day in these kind of houses, they house them, have them going for classes as to how to scam the next victim who is in Ghana. And the best targets are family members and friends. So don't be too convinced when a long-time family member just calls you out of the blue with some juicy packages that, oh, he's here and then this and that. And it's always very difficult to detect, because whenever they are making phone calls back to their relatives in Ghana, which they allow them to, for the people to know that, oh, okay, Edwin is safe, there's always someone watching. So you can never tell your brother or your sister that, yo, I'm not in Canada. Or the thing is actually, so, oh, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. How is the weather? Everything is fine. So it's a very big problem, because it looks like every week we are getting a report of someone being swindled through this QNet thing. Some are bold enough to find means and ways of sending signals to people in Ghana here through their WhatsApp locations and stuff. And we collaborate with international partners to rescue them. Others get sucked into the business and now become suspects instead of being victims. So it's a very big problem. So the KITTOE thing is something that I would want to use your media to really push out and then get people to be very alert on. Anything they hear about KITTOE, they should really think twice about venturing into it.
So with the QNet scam,
Yeah.
how can someone in Ghana, how can I detect that I'm being scammed? Because basically it's with a Canadian number that they call
Good.
you. So you may think the person is actually from Canada.
Okay, yeah.
So how can I know if I'm being scammed? Not just with a QNet scam, but any subsequent scam that will come along. How can someone detect?
So I always say, anytime you detect something fishy, you pull out. What do I mean by fishy? I give examples like, you are talking to a man. He tells you he's called Edwin.
Yeah.
When it gets to transferring cash,
There
he
are a lot of
tells
people-
you,
there are a lot of people now called Edwin.
use this number. I owe quick loan. I owe this. I owe that on this number. And then the number on the account is Sandra Nkobia, is Sandra Wisdom. Do you get it? That alone should draw your attention that, I'm dealing with Edwin, so why am I sending money to Sandra? Secondly, the people don't meet you in offices. No, they don't meet you in open spaces. They tell you, meet me at the mall, meet me here, meet me with half of the money, send me the momo. Can I meet you? Oh, I'm a busy person, I can't be. You know, when they give you this kind of reception, you should know that, no, this is what I'm getting into. Thirdly, they always don't want to be visible. They always want to do stuff online. Oh, you don't need to meet me. Just send me a picture. Send me this online. I'll print and then work on it. All these things should draw attention. When they start asking you for monetary commitments, and I always say it starts very little because they know you wouldn't have 10,000 at a go. But when they start and they tell you, oh, we need to buy forms of 200 Ghana cedis, they know Edwin can produce 200 Ghana cedis. After forms, they get a message to be sent to your phone with a private number. You have successfully signed up for a Canadian visa, blah, blah, blah. It gives you a certain kind of kick that, oh, things are in session. They come back after a week, tell you that, oh, now we've gotten to a stage where we need to pay for medicals. You see, it's one to the other. And I always say the Ghanaian culture, we should learn to voice out and stop this. I won't tell anybody until it's successful.
Yeah, my family
At night,
people may actually.
they don't even tell the family. At night, before he leaves the country, he calls his mother. It's always the mother. I always wonder why they don't call daddy. They call their mother, Mommy, Tukwain. And he won't even tell the mother where he's going. Oh, Midrua, Mefrao. Midrua, I'll let you know where I've gotten to. Yo. And he's out. So the next thing you wake up in the morning, where is your friend? Where is your brother? Oh, he's left the shores of the country. Some take loans from people, borrow money. So when they go and they're confronted with this kind of scam, they don't even know how to come back. So they have to give in to the scam because he's owing like 40,000 in Ghana because he was told, oh, he's going to be paid $1,000 every week. So he did the calculation and realized, oh, within 3 months, I can easily clear my debt. So
Wow.
He didn't want to do it, but the circumstance waiting for him back in Ghana would force him to just get involved. Yeah.
Wow. There's so much that I am processing right now. Before, I wish we had a whole lot more time for us to.
We need like a whole day.
A whole day, and maybe a whole week. From your standpoint as an official with the numbers, DSI Paul KITTOE, DSI Elizabeth, what would you have to say to Ghanaians? Is there anything that you want to tell Ghanaians right now?
Oh, I'll let my boss start.
So we would like to encourage them, anytime you discover or you find an employment opportunity, don't just rush into it. You need to do the needful, do the checks, do the research that you need to do. Don't just go in with all your money and you're convinced immediately. You need to make sure that you're doing your checks. And you can also come to us, visit us. We are at the Ghana Immigration Headquarters at Ridge Sankara, and so you can walk into our office, and we would also help you to ensure that the recruitment agency you're working with is legitimate or not. Or you can visit the Labour Department, Ministry of Labour and Employment, to check if these recruitment agencies that approach you or that you find are legitimate or not, because your life, it's only one. We're all looking for money, and it doesn't mean that you forget the if you forget to do your research, you forget to do the checks, the background checks and all. So please visit our office, or you can even call our numbers. Can I go ahead to mention?
Sure.
So you can call our numbers. You can call 0307 32 5089 or 026 668 0779. Or you can visit our pages on Instagram, GIS_MMB, all small letters. Or you can visit our Twitter page, all in caps, GIS_MMB. So we are always ready and available to assist you on how to travel safely. So yes, that's the small bit I'd like to add.
So the verification, does it come at a cost?
It's absolutely free.
Absolutely free.
Absolutely free.
So any Ghanaian can walk in at any time.
Everyone.
Absolutely free to verify.
Absolutely free. There's
So you've
no-
heard. It's absolutely free, not even a peswa. So do not hesitate to go to the Ghana Immigration
Immigration
Service
Service.
to verify if the agency you're working with is legitimate, or if you feel anything that anyone is introducing to you is a scam. Feel free, walk in, and they will help you verify. As she said, you only live once. This is your life. Don't let anyone take it for granted or put you in a situation whereby you can lose it with the hopes of getting a job anywhere or living the best kind of life. You only live once. God gave you one life.
Yeah.
So, DSI, do you have anything else you want to add?
All I would just say is I will plead with Ghanaians. I'm on my knees begging them, because it has become a very personal thing to me, because when I go and I'm receiving the returnees, it's a very sad thing to watch. So I would plead with them. Do the checks before you get involved. Don't feel, oh, it's all rosy out there. Do your necessary checks. It doesn't cost anything. Don't have the notion that when you come to immigration doesn't want you to go, because that's the impression I get anytime I go out for sensitization. Oh, when we come to your place now, you would even disrupt the whole going process. But that's not the case.
encourage travel.
All we want to do is make sure you are traveling safe. No one is against migration, no.
Yeah.
But migrating the right way is what we are advocating for. So I'm pleading with them. Is that my camera? I'm pleading with Ghanaians. Please travel the right way. Pass by any immigration installation. Ask of the migration information desk. Let's have a conversation. It's because of you people we are in the office. So please come by and let's have a conversation.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So come by and have a conversation with DSI Paul KITTOE and DSI Elizabeth KWARTENG. They'll be there. You'll be there personally, right?
Yes. Anytime you come there, you either meet me or you meet my boss Elizabeth there. Yeah.
So you'll definitely see a familiar face and hear a familiar voice. So there's so much more with pertaining to irregular migration. I'm no longer saying illegal anymore. So that we need to learn. And I'm sure this will definitely not be the last time DSI Paul KITTOE or DSI Elizabeth KWARTENG will be in the studio with
Definitely
me.
not.
We'll
Definitely
be bringing them from time to time to educate us on issues pertaining to irregular migration. And sadly, we don't have any more time, and that's the end of the Kristocentric news. For more news and sanctified content, and to stream us live on air, you can always log on to www.kristocentric.com and like and follow us on all our social media platforms. You can also download the Kristocentric app on App Store and Play Store. My name is YEBOAH Edwin Takyi, your Christian news anchor, here to remind you that God is not done with you. Your best is yet to come. Please enjoy the rest of your day.
Dear fellow Ghanaians, my name is ASI Elizabeth Sewa KWARTENG, and I'm from the Ghana Immigration Service, specifically the Migration Management Bureau, where we exist to provide you with reliable information on how you can travel safely. Now, today I'm on your screen to talk to you briefly about return and reintegration. The journey of return and reintegration after facing deportation is a transformative one, requiring support, understanding, and unity. The Ghana Immigration Service, through our sensitization expeditions, aim to shed light on this crucial process to ensure a smoother transition for our compatriots. Returning to Ghana after deportation can be a challenging one. It is essential to embrace those returning with empathy and compassion. Reintegration involves helping them rebuild their lives, finding employment, accessing healthcare, and reintegrating into their communities. Our government, with the help of various NGOs, offers support programs to assist returnees in their reintegration process. This includes vocational training, job placement services, financial guidance, and counseling to cope with the emotional and psychological aspects of returning. Together, we can foster a sense of belonging and provide opportunities for a fresh start for our fellow Ghanaians who have faced challenges of deportation. Let us stand united in creating a more inclusive and supportive society for all. They are people, let's embrace them. Now, if any of our returnees require assistance, kindly contact us on our numbers below. Safe travels and a warm welcome. Thank you.
Yo, my people, I greet you. It be your boy ASI KITTOE back on your screens again. We still there on the same educational vibes. We educate somebody, make somebody tell somebody something, make somebody no go do something, make somebody in body have make you go lock himself at the end of the day. Today the topic be document fraud. What be document fraud? Right now everybody want change the system small. I want change my date of birth. I want change my name. Charlie, we know the 90s again. We did the 21st century. Technology advanced. So if you feel say you be smart, we will smart past you. The technologies where we will get the detect all these things, you know get up. So don't go lose guard, do something where you go lock yourself in anything. If somebody assure you of some visa or something for some side, you always be saying for do the necessary checks. The checks, you don't get those machines, you don't get a gadget, you don't get anything to take to the checks. So if you come any immigration installation, if you come the national headquarters, we get some units and they call them Migration Management Bureau. If you come there, just bring your problem. Look, we sit down, talk, know which and what they go on. We go find solution. If you catch there, whatever they inside, then go tell you. You go drop your documentation, then go watch inside. If some negativity they inside, then go make you know. If some positivity they inside to her, amen. Nobody no will make you jackpot. If you go jackpot, if you jackpot through the right way, that be one our only concern. So in jackpot through the right way, come the office, make we do the necessary checks. If you know go come, the numbers there on your screen. Feel free call any of the numbers. If you pick well, you know if you speak English, feel free. Ga person day, Tree person day, Pidgin person day. Any language they speak, somebody they go address you. So the summary of what they tell you be say, if you go Jamie through the right way. Bless.
You're listening to Kristocentric.